Welcome to the Accidental Telescope Factory here at 10 Telescopes. So today we're going to build a complete Skyward 200 telescope, and we're going to start with the tripod. So just to quickly review the things you'll need for a tripod. You'll need some ABS pipe, plumbing pipe you can get from your hardware store. That's 2-inch inside diameter. This is 1-inch inside diameter PVC pipe that you use for electrical conduits. If you don't like the lettering on that, then a preparation step you can do is you can just sand that off with sandpaper. Plastic can, look at how they finish car bodies with sandpaper. You can sand plastics, it's not a problem. And then we've got feet for our tripod. We'll go through the steps to use that. These little tabs that help us store and unlock these cross braces. So these are our legs over here, the ABS pipe. These are the cross braces to stabilize those legs. These are the couplers that hold those legs and those cross braces together. And a few fasteners, M6 wing nut, M6 socket head cap screw. I get stainless steel, some self-tapping screws to hold it all together. And yeah, the tripod's pretty simple. Let's have a look at it in the CAD, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's assembled, and then we'll get right into assembling. Here we are in Fusion 360. We're going to be focusing on just this lower part here. Just like that. Just the tripod portion. We call this the tripod apex. Obviously the feet, and these couplers, as well as our cross braces. So the way this will work is, here, try to select parts we want to rotate. So we can rotate this around the axis of this bolt here. So this is what our tripod looks like, and then we'll line it. So the tripod is set up, maybe line 2. This here. That's what we're doing. After this. All right. So when the tripod is being used, this cross brace is in this position, and when it's being stored, these cross braces are in this position, and that'll become clear as we do the build. Okay, we're going to start by assembling these legs. So you're going to have your piece of ABS pipe. It's going to be about 36 inches long, taller if you're a very tall person. 36 inches is pretty usable height for a lot of people, but it could be shorter if it's somebody that's young, a young person, or a short person. Now what we'll do is we'll put one of these feet in. The first thing we'll do though is when we print them, we create this little extra ring here to stabilize the print. And then what you can do is you can just tear these pieces off. They're going to be hidden inside of the leg, so you don't have to be cosmetically perfect. Okay, now we've got those tabs taken off in the middle. Now all we need to do is start it into our ABS pipe. It's a little bit tapered, so you can start it like that, and then you can hit it. So I wouldn't hit it directly with a hammer. What you can do is you can use the handle end, the soft end of the hammer. Again, this is plastic. We're not going to do anything too crazy, but so there we go. There's one. You can clean this up here if you want to. You can get in there with a file and clean it up. I'm not going to do it today. I'll just get it inside the leg, so it's not going to be useful. Okay. Now so now we have our 3 legs. What we can do is we can put them into the tripod apex, and you can feel it seat. Now, once again, you can just give that a little tap. Oh boy, that's way up there, but you could just get on top of it and just tap that in. That's what I'll do, but it'll be out of frame, so yeah, it's down there good and hard. And then you will want a drill with 1/4 inch bit on it. So I'm not going to pull it out to verify. I've got calipers right here handy. This is, yeah, it's 1/4 inch. So we will look for, actually, let's see if we can, because if we're here on the table, it's going to be angled. I don't know if you can see on the camera. It's going to be angled incorrectly. So the better thing to do is just take the apex right to the edge of the table so that the drill isn't resting on the table, so the drill bit can go straight in, so that I can get the drill up right in here. Here, I guess, can you see that a little better? Here we go. And I just want to make sure that my drill bit is going straight into that hole, and I can just let the hole guide me. And then I can tell when it hits the ABS pipe, and it's only going to go in like 1/4 inch deep. So now we've got that hole. Start this back up again. Okay. Now we get our 120 millimeter long, 6 millimeter socket head cap screw. And now that we've just drilled that hole, it will just happily go right through the whole thing. And then we'll put the wing nuts on later, but on this other side here, we will put a wing nut. One of these wing nuts. But we'll do that in a second. Why don't we continue our drilling here? Let's do it. All right, so once again, bring this to the table, try to block camera. Wow, yeah, we can see that. Probably hold it first. Okay, so this again. And I'm going to turn the lettering away. So first I'll be very careful. This I'll try to turn the lettering away from. And this first. There we go. Here we go. So first time you move the blades a little squeaky, and the plastic surfaces are then crossing into that motion. Able to. Okay, so there we go. I'm doing not letting it drill. I'm going to do it like anyway. So you guys see what's going on. Okay, there we go. On the other side. These legs make a little bit heavy on the side, so I'll have to go forward. Hopefully you can't see this. There we go. There, that's it. Okay, now we're doing the second one. And we're putting our socket cap screw. And we'll leave it squeaky. And use the side hand. Here we go. So I'll be there. So you can see that these legs actually make those. That's good. All right, and so we're going to go. And finish this other one. We can this. So ready, there we go. And one more time. Remember the part, look at that first wall. You can run on the side and do that one. There we go. So now our third socket cap screw. Going this way. And then we'll put it straight here. One across. One straight. Make it a little straight. See the size. There we go. That's good. Okay. Now we have the legs. And we go now. With our power driver. Now, I would use just a simple power screwdriver. This is made by Hoto. It's available on Amazon. It's a fine tool. You don't want anything. You don't want to start putting your fasteners in with like a power tool, like a carpentry level power tool. This is plastic. It's pretty tough, but it's not metal. So anyway, what we can do is we can put our little wing nut on this side, and we can just hold it while we come in with our power screwdriver from this side, and then just bring it together. You don't want to over tighten any of these things. So another wing nut. And our last wing nut. Try to cross there. Okay, doesn't have to be over tightened. Okay, so that's good. So one of the things that's interesting about this design is that we use the electrical conduit, which is also our cross brace, also to lock the tripod closed. So what happens is this needs to sit here. It needs to be bottomed down all the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these three in place. And it will make sense why we're doing this in a moment. All right. It's got a little bit of a spring friction fit. Which all the way down again. And final one. Okay. So these are all in place now. And they have to be the same height. Otherwise, you're going to end up with different problems later. And now what we'll do is we'll clean out these couplers. So what you'll probably want is a pair of pliers or something like that, just to come in here and clean out. These are printer supports. So one of the things that I do, let's move this side for a second. One of the things that I do is I design these parts so that when you print them, you don't have to guess at what supports are needed. I design the supports right in. They're baked in. You don't have to really think about it too hard. And then, so everybody uses the same supports. Okay, so now we're going to use our supports. And so this little remnants left behind. You can take the time to clean those up as best you can. So it should be 2 on this. Okay, and then you can see there's kind of a little spherical surface in there. All right, take out this support as well. You have to catch yourself in the pliers. That's really hurt. Okay. Again, you get in there with a pen pick and a file, a small little screwdriver. And the way that this gets oriented now is this part will point into the top of this tube here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach way up and slide this down. Right? And when it's oriented correctly, it will go inside these little 1-inch pipes. There we go. So now you can kind of see how that is like that. All right. So why don't I temporarily just, here, I'll tell you what, I'll do this down so you can see what I remember. So what I did was, I slid this up to the bottom until, grab the little down, until it went inside this little pipe. Another pipe. Oops. There we go. Inside that one. Just leave it right down. Let's just do this vertically. There we go. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm going to slide these on. I'm going to try to do another one about. Let's just position something like this. It's not moving too much. We'll take the sports already on. Sports already on this one, so that's nice. We'll slide this one up. So slide up. And now what will happen is, it will go on like that. And it will meet this one here like that. Okay. So now those two, you can see that they're kind of meeting together there. Goes up there like that, and should also meet this one like that. Okay. Oops. None of these are attached yet, but I think you get the idea. So now, we just want to make sure everybody's rested fully in their final spots. All right, very good. Now, the whole point of that exercise is that when these little pipes are secured, these legs are locked in place. So you can carry the tripod around and the legs won't fall open. Okay, that's good. So this is, the thing about this is it also sets the height of these couplers. So now we know exactly where to drill these holes. So we know exactly where to drill these holes to secure these couplers, because these cross braces act as a securing mechanism when it's in the closed position. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we can see a little bit better what we're doing. We're gonna drill some holes because we've got to put these little self-tapping screws in to hold these couplers where they belong. So a good thing to do is, and I'm just going to use millimeters, even though these are imperial. So this is a 4 millimeter self-tapping screw. Sorry, the diameter, the outside diameter of the thread is 4 millimeters. So what I want to do is I want to pre-drill with something smaller. This is a 3 millimeter drill bit. So just as long as it's a little bit smaller than the self-tapping screw, then you'll be able to grab, your screw will be able to grab some thread. So right now, these cross braces are in their docked position, and they will determine the height of these couplers. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm just going to pre-drill for the self-tapping screws. All right, let's put it in high-speed mode here. Okay, so I've got those first two holes in. Now I can grab my power driver, and just by fantastic luck, actually, the 1/4 inch drive fits right on the head of this, so I'm not going to get fancy and find a socket. Again, we don't have to over-tighten anything. This is plastic, so it's not necessary to over-tighten things. There we go. So there's our first set of screws in. Just keep going. Okay, so now those are in. So now we can see we can carry our tripod around without the legs opening, because these cross braces are grabbing onto these couplers. There's a special little docking spot for those. Now, what happens when we want to open our tripod? Well, what we do for that, actually turn it upside down so we can see a little better, is there's a little docking area for this. Now, we're going to put these tabs on in a minute, which will help to grab these. Just for right now, you should be able to come in here and just pull that out. There we go. So that's why we're going to put these tabs on. Oh, wow, that's not a lot of fun without these tabs. There we go. Okay, so once those tabs are out, then everything will open. And then these cross braces, their actual final resting place is in compression within each one of these. So that locks in there like that. This one locks in here like this. And this one locks in here like this. So now we have a tripod. Like that. Okay, and so now we've got a nice sturdy tripod, and that's how that works. So now what we want to do is try not to break anything. Now what we want to do is put these little handles on these cross braces so that we can pull them out easily. All right. So we want to take down everything. Just have to pull these up. There we go. Okay, so this is out. And let's go to our other camera again. Okay, so now we're going to put these pull tabs on these cross braces. We want them to be quite close to the end where they clip in. So what you can do, just for reference, is you can, let's actually do it in a way that you can see from your angle. We can put the end of this pipe and line it up with this inch line here. And then we can just move this 1 inch in, right? And if we want to, we could mark that with a pencil or a Sharpie. Might make life a little bit easier to drill it. So I'm just going to mark that with a Sharpie. And now I know where to drill. Once again, be sure that you're safe with your power tools. Oops. All right. So once that's in, then we can slide this up and just line that little hole up there. And then we can get ourselves a self-tapping screw. Just start it in like that. Find our power driver. And there we go. Now our tab is on there. Sorry, I didn't realize my microphone had died. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk over this video recording. So continuing to mark where the holes go, and now drilling in with a 3mm drill bit so that we can come back later and put in these 4mm self-tapping screws. Now they don't have to be exactly self-tapping screws, but I like working with them, so that's what we put in the kits, but you can use some other type of, even a metal screw. All right, and still didn't realize that the microphone wasn't working, but now I think what I'm going to show is how the cross braces will actually lock the couplers together to put the, when the tripod is folded up, so that when you're in transport mode, you can just lock everything together. So you can see that cross brace just gets locked in there. That's the first one, and the pull tab is on the apex side. Here's another one. So just pull those two little couplers together, held together by that cross brace. And here's the third one. Okay, and so now our tripod is in transport mode. So all the legs are locked together. So the cross braces hold the tripod open or they hold it closed. And now you can take your tripod on the go. He looks so happy.